Hey, my name's Mason, and I hate running. And obviously, the next question would be, well, then why are you running?
Which would be an absolutely great question if I had a great answer, but I don't. Honestly, I just got bored and decided, hey, I'll go for a run. Why not film it? Why not challenge myself? Do 6 weeks. See how it goes.
So, what's the criteria I'll be following over the next several weeks? Well, it's pretty easy. I'm not going to make it too that difficult on myself because there's no reason to. Number one, most importantly, I've got to run a mile every day. I can run more than that, but it has to be a mile. I probably won't run more than a mile for quite a while, just because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a great time out the gate. But the second one is I'm not going to be changing any of my dietary stuff that I do on a normal basis. Still going to be the same thing that I eat, still going to be the same vitamins that I take. With that being said, my wife cooks really well, really good meals, and they're always extremely healthy for the most part. So the only thing that probably is unhealthy is I have a Whataburger maybe once a week whenever we're traveling. But besides that, it's pretty easygoing criteria. So let's look at some starting statistics to base all this off of. First, I am weighing in the first day at 212 pounds, 0.8. 212.8 pounds, there we go. And my resting heart rate as of now is 74. Now, I don't wear my watch at night, just because that's when I'm charging it. I know a lot of people wear them just so they can get that nighttime cycle, but at least during the day, the past couple days, it's been 74, which is pretty consistent from what I've seen in the past. So those are two stats that I'll be basing everything off of, just to see, well, along with my time, just to see if there's any improvements. I'm sure there will be improvements, maybe not the first week, but at least there will be some improvements over the long run. I do work out, at least during the work days. I plan to stick to that regimen also. I don't work out every day because some nights we're up till really late, hanging out with friends or doing whatever. So besides that, those are the only main things that I'm going to be sticking to in this video. So let's get on to day one.
All right, about to go for first run. I'm going to film now because I do not feel like doing the first run, which is going to be my benchmark, and filming at the same time. So this first time, I'm going to do no filming, just solely focus on running, going for a mile once again, and we'll see how I feel when I come back, but I'm also curious about where I'm going to be in that mile. My goal is 10 minutes, but I'm going to try to not look at my watch the whole time. I haven't run in over like 12 years, it feels like, actually run. So once again, I'm just curious where the benchmark is so we can have somewhere to start with. I'm hoping for sub 10, but that's a lot to ask for from my buddies who run. They say that's pretty heavy or gonna be tough for my first time running in several years. Got my new shoes on. Yeah, just gonna give it a go, and I'll let y'all know when I get back. You're gonna join me on the ground while I go over what I learned from the first run. One, I highly, my calves are tight. I highly overestimated what I could do for somebody that has not run in 10 plus years. I was hoping for 10 through 12 minutes. Felt like that'd be pretty good. No, my mile was 12 minutes and 55 seconds. Not great. Definitely not great. Not even relatively close to what I thought I was going to be in. But I finished the mile. Overall, I think I ran a mile and a quarter, just because that was my first time figuring out where to run really. Second thing, it's not a bad idea to every now and then stop and take a breather. I think that's what really killed me. I was on pace. I ran a third mile before I had to stop. Felt like I was gonna have to sit down and just take a breather, but I didn't. Just kept on walking. But I was on pretty good pace. A third of a mile in, I was 3 minutes. So I was definitely on pace to getting 9 to 10 minutes. But it just sort of decreased from there. I probably walked for an eighth of a mile, and then I started running another eighth of a mile and had to stop. And then from then out, I just basically ran an eighth, walked an eighth, ran an eighth, walked an eighth. And I know that math doesn't add up, but that was roughly what it was. Number two was it's okay to stop and walk. Number three, I did not like holding my phone. As stupid as it sounds, that was just another thing. And my hands got so sweaty. I don't know if the camera will show it. Probably not. That's all right. I'm sweaty. My phone kept slipping out of my hands. I kept on having to readjust. But overall, not super satisfied with a 12 minute and 55 second. But it gives me a benchmark. It gives me something to beat. So hopefully from here on out, it'll just keep getting better and better. From what all my friends who run say, stretch a lot because your calves are gonna suck. And sure enough, that's what really got me. I felt like my thighs and the rest of my body was doing pretty well actually, but my calves were on fire. I also have some insoles in these shoes, and I didn't really like them. Probably gonna take them out. Whenever I was running with them, there was like a clicking from the insole because it has like that padding underneath with all sorts of adjustments on it. And it just kept clicking, so that was sort of annoying. So next run, I'll probably take those out. But yeah, overall, that's our starting point, 12 minutes, 55 seconds. See if we can beat that.
All right, day 2. Let's see how this goes. I am not as sore as I expected I was going to be, but I'm definitely not sore. Yeah. Mostly it's my hips, the insides of my hips, my groin, I guess, and the outsides that are really, really sore. But it's not as bad as I thought it would be, like I said. So we'll see. I'm glad I didn't film yesterday because I could just focus on that first run. But today I'll try to at least film the start of it, and we'll go from there and see how it works.
All right, mile done. No, I did not film. Sorry about that. I started off pretty good. I knew it was going to be worse than first run, but being, I think, 20 seconds different, I'm good with that. Basically just focused on walking, then running, and walking, and running. So, day 2 done.
No, but in all seriousness, I'm actually not feeling that bad this morning. I thought I would be feeling a lot worse than I am. Actually feeling pretty good. I was a lot more sore yesterday than I am today. I definitely thought that today was going to be worse because at least for me, the second day after leg day is the worst. But I'm actually not feeling all that bad, which is a good sign. I took a secret ingredient because I have taken coffee. But we'll see how that helps or if it hinders. I'm also running in the morning, which is the first time that I've done that so far. But yeah, overall, I will just be happy if I stay relatively in the same range. Not shooting for anything crazy this morning, but we'll see how it goes.
In case you were curious, day 3, running still sucked. Gonna finish it out though. Day 3 in the book. I think it was a 13:55, which is way worse than past 2 days, but to be fair, I stopped. Took about a minute at least, setting up for some B-roll. Lesson learned, B-roll before or after you run. But yeah, day 3 in the books. See you tomorrow. Forgot to start filming. Day 4 finished though. I was pretty impressed. I went 0.48 something before I had to stop to start running because my calves are killing me. That's what's really getting me. But overall, 12:24. That's a big improvement. Shaved off 30 seconds from the first run. Pretty impressed with that. So, day 4 in the books. All right, day 5. Made the mistake of eating an hour before. I'm sure it'll be fine. Thankfully, it rained an hour before, so now it's nice and humid, and I've eaten brats and potatoes an hour before. See how it goes. Done. Ran a 12:45, I think, which is surprising because I ran longer before I had to stop. I guess I didn't have to, but I did stop. I went half a mile today. So, a bit surprising that I was slower than my fastest day, which I think was 12:25 safe so far. My only guess is I started out slower so that I could go further, which makes sense, but I think that's a good idea because I was able to run further without stopping. So overall, good day 5. All right, day 6. I am starting out 7:30 in the morning. I definitely feel way better than I did last night, so probably a morning running guy. But we'll see. Excited. I feel good. Had my coffee. Ready to go. Start. Good run. I probably ran like 80% of that. Walked another 80. Or walked at 20. Sorry. Which is interesting because my mile time was 12:52. So either I'm walking really fast when I normally walk more, or since I'm actually on a pace, I'm not sprinting at some parts whenever I start or whatever. I'm starting off slow and continuing it to go further. So either way, day 6 done. Day 7, trying to run at least 0.7 a mile. Thankfully, I've got this little cutie to run with me. See how it goes. Day 7, done. 12 minutes, 11 seconds, so pretty happy with that on the last day. Pretty sure it was help because of that one. But yeah, pretty good day.
All right, summary of the last week. Actually pretty happy with my progress, and yes, I know what you're thinking. That's the same shirt he was wearing at the beginning of the week. I know. I accidentally corrupted the film from that day, thankfully, and I'm filming this right after that first film, but that's all right. And if you have anything to say, I will curse you with bags under your eyes for the next year, just like mine. With that being said, I was pretty impressed with my progress, at least from the mile. I was disappointed to begin with. That 12:55, I felt like it'd be a lot better out the gate, but I haven't ran in 10 plus years, so I'm still upset with it, but there's nothing I can do but improve on it. And my last run, which was this morning, was 12:14. So I definitely shaved off a good chunk of time, which is very nice to see, especially from only running from 1 week. And my goal for this week turned into not being the fastest mile, but just finishing the mile. My calves were on fire the whole time. The rest of my body felt perfectly fine. My calves hurt on the run, and my obliques were really sore the rest of the week, which, if anybody can explain that, that'd be great. So yeah, going from 12:55 to 12:14, I think is pretty impressive, and I'm happy with that result. Now to the stats. I went from 74 resting heart rate down to 64, and it's been 64 for the past 2 days, so it's pretty consistent. Obviously that might change, and that may be just some variance based off of whatever it may be, less sodium in my diet, whatever. Or less sodium in my diet for those past 2 days, I guess I should say. We'll see if it continues. If it is, that's great because I obviously want to get that lower than what it was, 74. I would like to get it into the 40s if possible. That's what most runners have, and I feel like that's the healthier range from what I've read. And now onto the weight, which is the most surprising. I started this at 212.8 pounds. And this morning, after my run, I weighed in at 212.8 pounds. So no change. But to be honest with you, that's not all too surprising. And the reason being is I'm sure that I've lost some fat just from running, but I've also been drinking a lot more water than I normally do. I normally consume a lot of water, but now I'm using things like Noon and other rehydrating products that are making me absorb water more than my body normally does. So I'm fully going to chalk that up to water weight. Obviously, maybe different things, but the fact that it's exactly the same and there's no change, even though running for a mile is only burning like 200 calories, it's going to burn throughout the rest of the day. So there should have been some sort of change. I'm sure if I stopped taking all that stuff, I say all that stuff, it's just one little tablet. After my runs, my water weight would drastically decrease. And I say drastically, like probably 2 or 3 pounds at the most. But I'm drinking a ton more water, and that water has more than just coming out of my kitchen sink. So that's where I believe that difference is playing into. But overall, pretty good week. I'm not too worried about the weight. I'm not overweight. I'm in good shape. I can do what I need to. The running quicker and actually running a full mile is what's really good. And then obviously my lowering of my heart rate. So overall, first week down, pretty happy with it. Time to go on to week 2.